Hi, I visited the battlefield of Waterloo last week and I wanted to take you along with me. I would also like to take this moment to talk about some books that discuss the Battle of Waterloo or Napoleon Bonaparte. Some of them I have read, some of them I still want to read, but I'm hoping that for those I haven't read yet, that you can guide me a little bit in the comment section and let me know if there are indeed sections about Waterloo or references to Bonaparte. First of all, let me take you along to Waterloo and then we will discuss some books. One of the chapters in Les Misérables is all about Waterloo, and this is a section that I was rereading in the car while we were on our way. And it was only a 45-minute drive, which is rather quick. And from the side of the road, we could already see the lion. And so this was while we were driving up the parking lot. In the museum, there's information about the battle. We saw uniforms, historical items, animated maps. There was also a 3D film. Alright, let's take a look at the books. Of course, I need to start with Les Misérables by Victor Hugo because there is a large section about Waterloo. And like I said, I reread the section in the car, which was kind of special, I don't know. And this is also one of Hugo's famous digressions. I honestly don't mind his digressions. I read them with pleasure. Sometimes they are indeed a little bit too long, but I don't mind that much. So yeah, this story is taking place in 19th century France, and there is division between royalists and Bonapartists, and the July Revolution is playing a big role in this story. It's about an ex-convict named Jean Valjean, and he escapes his prison and tries to better his life. And it's also a story about social injustice, about the poor, about a miserable life, about love and passion. It's just such a great novel. It's one of my favorites of all time and I highly recommend it. Okay, next, also one of the best novels that I have ever read is, I'm so sorry, it's like I'm only recommending big books, but yeah, it's only big books. It is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas, and I know this is also a brick. I think there will be some thinner books. I don't promise anything. But yeah, this is such a great novel. And the reason why I picked this for the Waterloo theme is because Edmond Dantes, who is our main character, is being arrested and put into prison because he was labeled as a Bonapartist, which was at the time of the novel a very bad thing. So mainly this story, I also have a video on my channel if you're interested, but mainly this is about a man who has been wrongly convicted and put into prison, and he escapes and he is out for revenge. He wants to take revenge on the people who have put him there. Such a great novel, highly recommend. Now let's see. we are proceeding with big books. War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. This is my very beloved 3-volume set by Everyman's Library. It is so beautiful. I loved reading it because it's 3 separate volumes and it's a decent font and you can just pick the volume and read it comfortably. So this is a great box set. Now, of course, this is centered around Napoleon's invasion in 1812 into Russia. But, you know, Napoleon Bonaparte plays a huge role in this story. He even has his own, like, he is worked into the novel as a character. So since this is about the Napoleonic Wars, I had to include this one. Then we are moving on to Le Rouge et le Noir, The Red and the Black by Stendhal. So I include this book because the main character, I forget his name actually, let me quickly check. Julien? Was it Julien? Yeah, I think it was Julien. It's been a while since I've read it. He is a Bonapartist, but like very, very fanatic. So Napoleon has fallen and Julien is a very ambitious man. He always dreamt of military glory, but now that Napoleon has fallen, this is no longer possible for him. So he starts a career in church, which he absolutely hates. So yeah, here's a lot of mention of Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay, so now I'm moving on to novels that I haven't read yet, but that I have heard contain things about Napoleon, about Waterloo, and so on. First one is Vanity Fair by Thackeray. If you're wondering, this is a Norton critical edition. I've scheduled this book for the book club of 2025, so we're going to be buddy reading this. If you want to join, check out my Patreon page. But this novel, let me see what it is about. So apparently it's a satire of British society and it includes a major section about the Battle of Waterloo. So apparently one of the characters goes and participates in the battle and the impact on the family members is vividly described. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this. Then I have some books, but I don't have the copies of them. So another by Stendhal is The Charterhouse of Parma, written in 1839. And apparently this is about a nobleman called Fabrizio del Dongo. I'm trying, okay? And he dreams of glory and also wants to join Napoleon's army. Okay, I think I've read somewhere that Stendhal has been a soldier in Napoleon's army, and perhaps this is why he tends to work this into his novels so often. I think he must have admired Napoleon. So Fabrizio del Dongo is he stumbles into the battle as a confused and inexperienced soldier, presenting the fight in a surreal, chaotic manner rather than the usual grand military narrative. So this sounds very interesting, right? Also on my list is Sharp's Waterloo from 1990 by Bernard Cornwell. And apparently he is a historical fiction writer. And I've been eyeing his series for such a long time. Like, I'm super excited to get into it, and I think I'm gonna purchase the ebook version so I can read it on my iPad. So apparently this is about a British soldier. That was hard to pronounce. And he is called Richard Sharp. He fights under the Duke of Wellington. That rings a bell. So yeah, that's a series that I'm excited for, and I would love to know your experience if you have read it, because I'm so curious about it. Then we have Scaramouche from 1921 by Raphael Sabatini. So this is a historical novel, apparently, and it features a brilliant adventurer and revolutionary caught in the events of the French Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars. The next one on my list is The Professor by Charlotte Bronte, written in 1895, and it's not a war novel, but apparently it reflects on Brussels in the aftermath of Waterloo. There's also references to the battle, and there's discussion on the lasting impact that the battle has had on the city. There's one more on the list. It's called Waterloo, written in 1964 by Georgette Heyer. And apparently this is a historical novel where he blends real fictional characters with fictional ones. And it's said to be a highly accurate retelling of the battle. Please let me know if you have read any of these novels, and I hope, as always, to see you next week.